I just don't think it's a good idea to take someone who's struggling with dementia and put him in one of the most stressful positions the world has ever known.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Joe Rogan controversies.
So funny, Fauci hit you up.
Well, he didn't hit me up necessarily. He disagreed with me.
For this list, we'll be looking at the worst controversies that have hit popular comedian and podcast host Joe Rogan. What do you make of these controversies? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. The Jack Dorsey Interview. Millions of people tune into the Joe Rogan Experience because of its long-form conversational style. Rather than the light, frothy entertainment of late-night talk shows, Joe Rogan sits down and talks in depth with his guests, sometimes for 3+ hours. However, many people felt that Rogan was off his game while talking to Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey.
He likes to insult people on Twitter. It's fun for him.
He does.
You know?
This episode generated a lot of controversy within the Rogan fan circle. Some thought he didn't grill Dorsey enough. Some thought the discussion was too corporate. And some even thought that Rogan had edited the podcast and was censoring YouTube comments.
So that is probably what's happening to all you folks that think your comments are getting deleted. No one's deleting.
Rogan eventually took to Instagram to defend himself, and Dorsey later appeared in a redemptive episode alongside citizen journalist Tim Pool.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Number 9. Moving to Spotify. For a long time, Spotify has been criticized for its terrible implementation of podcasting. This has become an even bigger problem now that Spotify is buying up numerous shows and making them exclusive to their app. This is exactly what happened with the Joe Rogan Experience, and it made a lot of his fans angry.
Catch new episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience for free, only on Spotify.
The show used to be on YouTube, and each episode generated millions of views. But then it was announced that Rogan was moving exclusively to Spotify in a deal reportedly worth a staggering $100 million. Many were outraged, and some suspect that Rogan lost a lot of influence and popularity following the move. Of course, that's hard to judge conclusively because Spotify does not release their listening numbers.
I was like, what have I done?
Number 8. Smoking with Elon Musk. If someone wants to see the impact that the Joe Rogan Experience has on pop culture, one only needs to study the Elon Musk controversy. Musk appeared on Rogan's show on September 6, 2018, and the episode understandably became a huge hit. During the episode, Musk took a hit off of Rogan's cigar, which supposedly contained a mix of tobacco and cannabis.
You never had that?
Yeah, I think I tried one once.
The image became a meme, but it also caused a lot of public controversy for Musk. Tesla stock immediately plunged, although this could be due to the simultaneous departure of an important executive.
That didn't materialize. You gotta wonder, what is the board going to do?
The media also tore into Musk, with some even worrying about his public image and mental stability.
Because if you just have a little, it's great.
Fine.
Number 7. Shared by Donald Trump. Rogan often came under fire during Trump's presidency. During the very public 2020 election, Rogan was criticized for saying that he'd rather vote for Trump than Biden, owing to Biden's age and what he perceived as his mental state.
I can't vote for him.
I can't vote for Trump.
I'd rather vote for Trump than him.
But the real controversy occurred when Donald Trump himself got involved. Rogan criticized a potential Biden presidency, comparing him to a flickering flashlight in the dark woods.
Biden, to me, is like having a flashlight with a dying battery and going for a long hike in the woods. It is not going to work out.
This tickled Trump, and he shared the clip to his millions of followers on social media. This generated even more interest in Rogan and his political stance, and many assumed that he was endorsing the most controversial president of our time.
It makes no sense to me. It's very, very confusing.
Number 6. Misreporting the wildfires. Joe Rogan came under intense media scrutiny during the 2020 California wildfire season. During a September podcast with writer and political commentator Douglas Murray, Rogan shared a baseless conspiracy theory that claimed left-wing people had started the fires and had been arrested for doing so.
They've arrested left-wing people for lighting these forest fires.
This conspiracy theory became so widespread that the FBI was forced to get involved, and they essentially told the public to stop spreading nonsense. This was a rare instance in which Rogan publicly acknowledged the controversy and apologized. He admitted that he didn't look into the claim before stating it and apologized for spreading political misinformation.
There's so much nonsense.
Number 5. Hosting Alex Jones. The thing about the Joe Rogan Experience is that it welcomes everyone, even those who have been publicly ostracized. Rogan has often come under fire for hosting alt-right figures on his show, including Milo Yiannopoulos and Owen Benjamin. But his most controversial guest has arguably been InfoWars founder Alex Jones.
Not worried about you. Alex Jones.
This is the most anticipated thing I ever did.
Jones has been banned from virtually every social media platform, but he appeared on Rogan's show in October 2020. Critics argued that Jones shouldn't have been given a public platform to spread his controversial views, especially one as popular as Joe Rogan.
This is why people get banned from the internet. These kind of conversations.
We better ban it right now.
The episode even resulted in some alleged internal pushback from Spotify employees, who were angered over Jones's appearance on their platform.
I think
really
people
good.
got to see a side of you that they maybe even didn't see in the other two podcasts.
Number 4, using ethnic slurs. The beginning of 2022 was a tough time for Mr. Rogan.
That is crazy.
Among other controversies that will be addressed shortly, Rogan was also targeted by a montage of him saying the N-word. The 30-second long montage contained dozens of utterances of the N-word. The tweet was liked, shared, and retweeted by thousands and quickly made the rounds through the internet. In early February, singer India Arie reposted the clip compilation to her social media. Rogan responded with an apology video clarifying how the snippets were taken out of context and that he's since changed his position on who could and couldn't say the word.
Taken out of context, it looks terrible, but it looks terrible even in context.
Dozens of his podcast episodes were subsequently removed from the audio streaming site. Number 3, the Robert W. Malone episode. In late December 2021, Joe Rogan hosted physician and biochemist Robert W. Malone on his podcast. While Malone is a pioneer of mRNA technology, his misinformed opinions on the COVID vaccine have generated tons of controversy within the medical community.
They removed you for not going along with whatever the tech narrative is.
Malone has been banned from Twitter, and his opinions have been deemed both dangerous and incorrect by fellow medical professionals. Malone's appearance on the podcast generated controversy, as did the things the virologist said, like comparing the response to COVID to Nazi Germany. According to many, Malone's appearance on the show was incredibly harmful, as it amplified his misinformed voice to millions of susceptible listeners.
I brought you up to someone, and he goes, "Oh, that guy's crazy." I go, "How so?"
Number 2, his views on trans fighters. For those who are unaware, Joe Rogan is also a color commentator for the UFC. In the early 2010s, Fallon Fox became the first openly transgender athlete to fight in MMA. Rogan did not approve of her fighting cisgender women owing to her build. On an episode of his podcast, Rogan referenced Fox's bone structure, among other things. He also argued that she had an unfair physical advantage against the cisgender women she was fighting.
We're built different, and it's just a fact.
Fox and various employees of Spotify have since asked that Rogan's transphobic content be removed. Rogan has since clarified his stance on trans fighters, arguing that they should be allowed so long as their opponents are aware of who they're fighting.
If you choose to fight her and you're a woman and you know that she's a trans woman, I'm totally fine with that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, COVID-19 misinformation. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, Rogan has been criticized for his views on the response and the vaccine.
I just said, I don't think that if you're a young, healthy person, that you need it.
There was the whole ivermectin thing, where he falsely claimed the drug was a treatment for COVID.
Obviously, I'm not a doctor. It says ivermectin was found to be a blocker of viral replicase.
He has also argued against getting the vaccine, despite claiming that he is not anti-vax. It has all proven too much for some. In January 2022, hundreds of scientists and healthcare workers wrote an open letter to Spotify, asking them to curb the blatant misinformation found in the Joe Rogan Experience. According to them, the host is a menace to public health. Furthermore, musicians Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, and several more have asked that their music be removed from Spotify in protest of Rogan's misinformation.
I'm not a doctor. I'm a fucking moron.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.